looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits in the middle, gets past both drivers. You know, it's only been a month break, but for some reason that month has felt entirely too long. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Australian GP here. 3 DRS zones, lots of fun action coming at you, and this is where we kick off our 14 corners of action for an 11-round season of pure excitement, greatness, fun, whatever you would like to call it. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone's having a good evening, good day, good morning, whatever it will be for you. As always, you know, it's great to be here. Things have changed here in FRL over the offseason. A couple of changes. We'll talk about it as qualifying goes on. But all you need to know is, as always, the commentary booth has stayed the same. You've got myself, Brad, you've got Syntax, you've got Kenny, and we are ready to bring you some great Sunday afternoon and evening action. Syntax, how are you doing today?
Welcome everybody, it's so nice to be once again. Previously in the previous weekend we had a pre-barrages, but right now we're going to the main event, baby. Let's do this again. We're waiting so long, and today we're finally here on the Australian Grand Prix with FRL. I'm so excited just to begin for the new Season 8, and I'm doing so great to see that.
Kenny, welcome. It's going to be your first full season with FRL. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I am feeling ecstatic to be back here once again. And as we see these cars get ready to go out and get their first couple laps in here, I'm just excited for it to be round one.
Round one it is, and a good long 11-round season coming at us here. Adjust a couple things here, get things going. All right, let's talk about it, guys. Big name of the game and the big change that we have to discuss. FRL consolidating from 2 splits to 1 split. What's the pros of that? 20-car lobby. What's the cons of that? Not 2 races. I don't know if that's a con. Personally, I do enjoy 1 large lobby. Of course, as we all know, big elephant in the room. F122, there's been some controversy. There's been some different things that have gone on with the game as the season's gone through and as the year's gone through of the game being out. Overall, I don't think it's a bad decision for FRL to go down to 1 split. I think it gives us a full grid every weekend. As we saw with the pre-barrages, everyone is very competitive. We're set up with a 20-car grid every weekend. And we have 8 reserve drivers that are ready to stand by every week. And I was watching the check-ins as they happened. And every driver checked in. So we had 5 reserves that were ready to stand in. And I think this is going to provide a little bit more competitive racing every weekend, as opposed to what we've seen over the past 2 seasons, where there were times where the lobbies were only half full. Kenny, I'm going to ask you first. Do you like 1 race? Would you prefer 2 races? What is your kind of opinion on the step back into a 1 race?
Personally, as a commentator and also as a former admin, a league admin myself, I like full grids and I like full lobbies. So, and I also think that reducing to smaller grids, provides a little bit of exclusivity to the league. Like you were saying, it's going to boost the competitiveness a little bit as well. So I think it's not going to really do much harm. If anything, I think definitely for the short term, it's going to do a lot of good. You're going to see a lot of full grids, and I think you're going to see a lot of full competitive grids. So treat it as like an open division now. Best man in.
Absolutely. Syntax, kind of what's your opinion? We're starting to see some qualifying times come through. 117.9 from MAKU, a 118.0 from Graxent. We're going to talk about Graxent here just a little bit later. Bimmelino Gaucho, 117.8. Syntax, what's kind of your feedback on it? You've had long-term involvement with the league. You've raced, you've commentated. You've been involved in those smaller grid races. You've been involved in, the early days of the season and the early days of the league. Do you like going back to, where FRL started, which was one split? Do you wish we still had two splits? Kind of what's your feedback on it?
Actually, yeah, I will agree with that because basically it was how it was with two splits. Sometimes we have like 10 people in the second split. Sometimes we have like, I don't know, 15 drivers in the split one. So I believe admins just decided and pick the best decision as they can to like set the one's big split as it was on the beginning. So I would say we're going back to the roots, and I'm quite happy about that. And I believe it will be also like a test season for all of us, because of course we had to remind that new game will come in this year, right? So it's also a very good time for changes, I will say, and it's a quite good thing that whole administration is trying to bring some changes, I will say. Yeah, something like this.
Changes coming down the pipeline, and something a little bit different too with this season. I want to give an overarching preview for everyone watching of how this season is going to run. If you're an FRL fan, you're going to absolutely love this. So, sprint races. We've brought sprint races to FRL. We have an 11 calendar season. Let me walk you through it top to bottom. We have this week here at Albert Park in Melbourne. Next week is going to be Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Round 3, Silverstone, the 100th race for FRL. 100 races in 8 seasons, and we are going to celebrate it at Silverstone with a sprint race. That is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very different. I can't wait to bring that to you. Round 4, May 14th, Spa-Francorchamps. Everyone knows Spa. It's a great track. It's a lot of fun here in FRL. It's a staple. Round 5, Monza. Round 6, we go back home to Monaco, which I absolutely love. Round 7 is Suzuka. Round 8 is going to be Portimao. Round 9 is going to be Montreal in Canada. We're on to the 18th of June now. That will be your second sprint race of this season. Shanghai on the 25th of June, and we will round everything out at Bahrain on the 2nd of July. So 11 seasons coming at you, running through. Not 12 race season, not a longer season. Of course, we've experimented before in the past. We've done 16 race seasons. We've done 12 race seasons. We've done 8 race seasons, so kind of mixing things up. Really, I think the idea of the calendar is to prep us in for F123 to release. I know a lot of the FRL drivers, and myself included, and I think Kenny and Syntax as well, have signed up for the F123 beta. Drivers, if you're listening right now, go to easports.com and go to their beta page. Sign up for the F123 beta. That way you can have your exclusive input on how that game is going to shape up, because of course that is going to be the future of this league. When F123 comes out, I am going to go ahead and make the bold prediction. If it comes out here in the next couple months, Season 9 will kick over to F123. So we will see how that goes long term. But of course, that's some of the big changes that have came with this season. Guys, have I missed any changes anywhere? Anything big to talk about?
The only thing I will comment on going in with F123 from a community standpoint is if you're going to pick a time to really kind of get on the horn and put your feedback in, is now the time, because Rumor has it, Assetto Corsa 2 is going to be coming out in 2024. And with the strong F1 modding community that could very well put this game under threat, especially if it flops on the multiplayer side. This game really just needs a steady multiplayer, stability base, and a lot of bug quirks still it worked out. But I mean, this game isn't far from being a really good game. We can just only hope that it moves in the right direction.
Tech, would you agree with that? I heard you chuckle in there, so I would guess that you share a very similar opinion. And
Yeah,
I know you have been vocal about your opinions on F122.
Yeah, but I will try to stay with my opinions about the game for myself. Probably all of us know what I'm thinking about this game, so it will be better to do like this. But I have another question to you guys, and I believe it's also very important. We still have less than 10 minutes in the qualification session, but new season, new faces in the season 8, and of course my favorite question always in the beginning, bold predictions about the champion in this season. We have such a strong drivers on the grid right now, and predicting who might win, not even today's Grand Prix, but I mean in the whole qualification, it will be so mad. Bradley, so maybe we'll No, Bradley, you are going first because you love this type of questions.
Okay, so let's look at drivers that we have listed. This is leading into, I was going to talk about this a little bit anyways as I'm continuing to watch times go through. Jack has been struggling to put in a qualifying time. We've lost 2 drivers so far in qualifying. However, as you, me, everyone knows, round 1 is not... You can use it as an indication for the season, but you don't have to rely on it. I'm kind of looking through the list, and I'm kind of looking at how our preseason barrages went, and the big standout of preseason barrages was Graxent. Now, I know Graxent had mentioned he was considering missing this race for a couple of reasons, but I'm so glad to see him out on track. Kind of looking through at the drivers we have listed, we have Jack, who is racing as reserve this season. Every driver except for Jack has their assigned seats and is set in their teams for this season. So kind of looking at that, using that as my guide, the big show-offs of the preseason barrages were Graxent and Debe. They were both very, very good. Now, Debe has luck that has to get on his side sometimes. Of course, we all know that. He finished podium first race, and then he finished outside of the podium, or almost outside of the points for the other 2 races. He finished P9 and P14 at Azerbaijan and Abu Dhabi in those 25% races, just barely scraping by, finishing P9. So that is going to be interesting to watch. But then we have Kashti. Kashti is a very strong driver, so Kashti brings a lot to the table. If Graxent can be consistent, he's going to be scary. If Debe can be consistent and find himself not in the mix of wrecks and not being taken out by someone, I think Debe has some strong potential this season. Buchik, Muhamed, Kushor, Radislav Kepa, these are all names. Every name on here has a good standing in FRL. Wasserschwein, but statistically, Graxent has ran the most races in FRL of the drivers on the grid. He's ran 78 races with 10 wins, 23 podiums, and 722 points earned in the league across our 98.
Jack's gone around. Sorry to cut you off there, but Jack had a big offing going off and just ruining his lap there. And on the subject of the preseason barrages, he was kind of a standout pace-wise, but he struggled quite a bit to keep the car control.
Yeah, Jack has been out of practice for a couple of seasons now, which, again, every driver deserves a break. I don't think that's anything negative at all, but one of the things that when you're out of practice for a couple seasons, your consistency can slip. Now, I've ran races with Jack. Me and Jack have ran several races together. I've done a lot of practice races with Jack. I've ran in other sims with Jack. Most notably, the first ACC race that FRL ran, me and Jack were teamed up together at Spa. It was a 4-hour race at Spa. which was a lot of fun. So I know Jack has a lot of good pace. I know Jack is a very strong driver. The big thing is just consistency is going to be key here. And when it goes back to everything, I do think through this season, we're going to see a lot of drivers be consistent. So I'm going to say our big season standouts are going to be Graxent, Debe, Kashti. Those are the three that I think are going to be competing for the front. If they can keep things clean and stay out of crashes.
But what about Tazo? We cannot forget, like, our 3-time in a row champion, right? Like, come on.
Hey, I want to see things mix up this season, okay?
Yeah, I see, but I can
different.
spice it a little bit because, as you know, I always have some information from the paddock, and even in this season, at the beginning, I have some news about it. The teams in this season are kind of mixed up, and I like it. I enjoy it a lot. But what about Tazo? Tazo decided to go from the controller to the actual wheel. So this season might be a little bit challenging for him. As we can see right now, Tazo weren't always that quick on the qualification session, right? Somewhere around top 5, top 6, but somehow with his amazing strategy, with his amazing pace and like, I don't know, champion mindset, I will say, he always somehow managed to stand on the podium. How he will perform today, we will see. But if you will ask me, I will say Mateusz can actually set some things like messed up because Mateusz has shown potential in the previous season. Right now, Kashti with amazing pace, 1 minute 17.2, so it's like 2/10 in front of the Mateusz, and I have no idea where they're going to find those 2/10. But let's go back to the topic. Mateusz can really shown his potential in the previous season, so I believe Kashti, Mateusz, John Meister, Graxent, Puchacz, Tazo, Wasserschwein, we have a plenty of drivers that actually can show their true potential in this season. If everything will be like clear, I will be so satisfied to see like the pure fight. Maybe do you remember when we were speaking about the Jack? Maybe Brad, do you remember the situation when I actually was driving on the Spa with Jack? Like the whole 32 laps, wheel to wheel, just like less than a second behind each self. So yeah, if Jack will go back to his consistency, as you mentioned, it was a key. I believe Jack, if he will receive like the driver's seat, he also might be a challenge for the rest of the drivers.
It'll be really fun to watch this season play out. It's going to be 11 weeks of fast pace, lots of action, and of course, if you're watching the stream, you don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you tune in every Sunday. 8 p.m. Central European Time will be the races, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on the U.S. side of things and you're looking for a good Sunday afternoon event, I would have to argue this is a good Sunday afternoon event. And we're watching here as drivers go through. Kashti was able to pull out a provisional pole time, 1:17.282. 2 minutes left to go. We've got about half the grid out on out laps, half the grid on push laps. So I think we're going to start to see things mix up as they continue. Wasserschwein is going to cross. 1:17.825 is his current time, and he is going to be starting on another push lap here. John Meister is coming around the final corner. He invalidated his lap there throughout turn 14, so this time is not going to count for him, and he's up 11 seconds, so I think he is going to be restarting a lap here. Mateusz is also invalidating his lap, so nothing there. Graxent's on an out lap. We're going to keep our eyes on Graxent. He's got 1.5 minutes to get around this track, and that's plenty of time for him, so Graxent is going to be a driver to watch here. Guys, I think we're going to really have our work cut out for us this season, too, with these 20-car grids, because a lot of cars going around at a lot of times. There's a lot to keep up with. Everybody bear with me here. We've got about 90 seconds. That is Jack, who has spun... Actually, no. That was not Jack. That was John Meister who had spun around there in the first sector. And that is going to be, I believe, his qualifying day over, as I don't think he has time to get back around the track, and he probably doesn't have enough fuel either. Puchacz is coming around here, middle sector, looking fairly decent, and now we watch the drivers as they go through the line. That is Wasserschwein, who is spun out there in the third sector in the hook. His teammate, Maverick, is going to be crossing the line now. Maverick, 1:21.5 last lap. He's a 1:18.6 for his fastest lap, so I think Maverick might be out here in the session down in P14. Of course, if you're new to FRL, it is an 18-minute quali and a 50% race, so everybody buckle up. Buchik right behind him there going through. Marios retiring out of the session there. So Mumamek retiring out of the session. That is going to be their qualifying days over. It looks like Mumamek wrecking in turn 1, which is a dangerous spot. Of course, if you're new to Albert Park, 3 dangerous spots to watch out for. Turn 1, turn 11, and turn 14. All a very great time here. Time continuing to dwindle down here in qualifying. 5 seconds to go until drivers cross the line. Let's jump on board and see who goes through. Bimolino Gaucho jumping himself up into P4 there. Jack finding himself up into P7. Checkered flag has fallen. Cashty currently on provisional pole, 117.2. Can anyone upset that? John Meister into the pits, 117.4, so he is locked out P3 at least. Mateusz is missing a front wing. His qualifying is over for the day. Graxent coming through. Graxent has invalidated his lap, so Graxent will not be able to improve at all. Now let's continue to look back here. We've got Tazo, who is coming through the first sector. Tazo still has plenty of time to put in a lap here, and we'll see, is he going to be able to improve any as he pushes through. In front of him, he has got Bimolino, but of course, Bimolino, I believe, is not going to be able to put in an improved time here. Debe, Buchik, Maverick, Kushort, Radislav Kepa, all crossing the line. They are going to be locked in their positions back on the back half of the grid, so let's continue to watch as drivers come through. Wasserschwein invalidating his lap, so Wasserschwein is not going to be able to improve. Jack pulling into the pit, so Jack will not be able to improve any. Tazo is coming down the third sector now. You can see Bimolino Gaucho diving there to the inside, out of the way. And now, as he comes around the final couple of corners, you can see that light blinking. I can't tell if Tazo's trying to improve or not. Unfortunately, as we continue to watch, he's slinging it around the final corner here. Is this Tazo trying to put in a better time? He's into the pits. Tazo has called it there. Wasserschwein, of course, invalidating. And now, the only driver that we have to wait on is going to be the Alfa Romeo of Bimolino Gaucho. Syntax Kenny. That is going to be the first qualifying session here of Season 8 done. And it's done with a bang. Okay. Wrecking the pit lane. And Bimolino Gaucho gets disqualified for blocking the pit lane as he hit Wasserschwein. Wasserschwein picks up a 5-place grid penalty. So not without a little bit of controversy after the checkered flag fell.
Why not have the stewards busy early on?
We'll see. Yeah. I guess we'll see how the stewards handle that between the session, as they will have to take a look at that. But Cashty, standout here, gets the first pole position of FRL Season 8. Mateusz, John Meister, Graxent P4, very strong showing. Tazo, Syntax's favorite, up in P5. Jack, P6. Puash, P7. Wasserschwein, MAKU. Debe is going to be in the top 10. So Debe setting him up a good position. But guys, it's not necessarily about where you qualify, but it is about where you finish. So let's see, can the driver survive all the way through into turn 1? Will we have any early safety cars?
I think we'll have an early safety car, but I don't think it's going to come turn 1, lap 1. I think it's going to come probably stint 1, probably somewhere in the first 5 to 7 laps. Because just on the differences, just seeing the time gaps and all that, you could have a massive train for this race, and people get impatient in those trains. So we'll see what happens. No funny business.
No funny business. Everybody bear with us. We are sticking with the restart of the lobby between sessions, so bear with us just a couple minutes while we get everything set up, and then we will be back to bring you some action at Albert Park. Well, there's a sneak peek at something that's coming. Everyone, here we go. So, if you want to join for Season 8, of course, signups are always open. If you'd like to join in as reserve, all the seats are taken. Go ahead and jump on the Discord. Check out the Discord. Do !Discord in chat. You can go ahead and join, and then it's going to be a great time. We'd love to see you on. Of course, 8 reserve drivers, but that doesn't mean that doesn't give you a chance to race, because reserves are first come, first serve. And, oh, I am going to finish this, and then I am going to show you all the track. Anyways, of course, FRL is an affiliate with Moza Racing. If you want to support the stream and support the league, go ahead and scan that QR code or do !Moza in the chat. If you're looking to upgrade your sim gear, go ahead and buy some Moza SRP pedals, buy some Moza gear. The R9 is my favorite direct drive wheel, and then you can go ahead and set that up, jump on track, and I guarantee you will see a difference. Now, Syntax Kenny, I am going to cut the stream over to what we are seeing for race conditions, and I will let you all go ahead and give a live reaction.
I'm crying. I'm literally crying. It's like the first race of the season and it's raining. Like I cannot believe in what I'm seeing actually right now. It's Melbourne. Like there's always sunny and of course the weather isn't on our side, especially for the FRL drivers and the weather conditions. Oh man, I'm so sorry for you guys. Like the whole drivers. I'm so sorry.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that prediction for a lap one turn one incident just went up about 20% or 200%.
Yeah.
It will
So
be on the start. It will be on the start, not even on the turn one.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is how we're going to start out Season 8, eh? 5 red lights, and we are going to kick off Season 8 here in FRL. We are underway, and here we go. Let's see how the drivers get away. Everyone's on intermediate tires, and look at that little bit of jockeying for position there. That is going to be Puhash in the background. There in the Alfa Romeo. Kashti gets away very well. Mateusz there in P2. We've got side-by-side action through. There is the Ferrari of Graxent off the track. There is the McLaren of Dave off the track. Everybody's coming through, though. It looks like so far every driver has survived the Turn 1 chaos. As we look here back in the midfield, side-by-side action going through. Jack on Wasserschwein, Jack side by side as they come through turn 3, turn 4. A little bit of carbon fiber going through. Marios picks up a 3-second penalty early on for corner cutting. We continue to watch through here. Wasserschwein on Jack. Wasserschwein's ahead. Jack's trying to hold on there. Look at Graxent getting very, very feisty in the mix as well. Leaders have tried to take off here, but everybody else is going to try to hold on. Look here back in the background. Puhash trying to hold on as well. And there is your AWS strategy. They're calling intermediates all the way through. But don't trust that because AWS doesn't predict the weather, and neither do the commentators. Now as we watch here in the midfield, everybody kind of holding on to each other. I don't see any major carnage. I don't see that anyone is missing a front wing early on. So all 20 drivers escaping through the first half of the lap. Looking very, very smooth. Mateusz, 6/10 of a second back on Kashti. Kashti pulling out the early lead. Wasserschwein and Jack side by side again. Look at this. Graxent, MAKU side by side right behind. And now you've got Graxent trying to put a front wing in the mix here as they come through back in the backstretch. Look at this. Graxent on the inside leaves just enough room for Wasserschwein. Wasserschwein being very, very racy. Little bit, maybe some contact there, but they're able to hold on side by side still. This is giving Jack a little bit of an opportunity to get away. And there we go. Graxent with a little bit of a snap there from the rear end. That's going to open up the door for MAKU as MAKU comes through. Is he going to be able to take advantage down the main straight? Of course, no DRS because of the wet weather conditions and the race just starting. Here we go. MAKU up the inside here on Graxent. Turn 1, turn 2. There's contact. They're both straight into the wall. And that is going to be both of those drivers out, I believe. No. They're both able to keep going here, but little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there takes both of those drivers to the back of the pack. And it wasn't turn 1, lap 1, but it was turn 1, lap 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the first safety car is deployed, and it's due to a collision there between MAKU and Graxent. All right, guys, first lap's over. There is a Williams that's sitting on the side of the track there in turn 4 of Nextchat. He still has a front wing. Everybody having to slow down very hard, though, back in the midfield to give way for, I guess, safety car timing. But, all right, guys, 2 laps in. What do we think so far about Season 8?
Heck of a start. I definitely would say that the start was a lot cleaner than we were all probably expecting it to be. However, that incident we just saw was completely unavoidable, or not unavoidable, completely avoidable in my opinion. And unfortunately for the Red Bull that collected those two, the Red Bull car lost his wing in the process as well. So I guess fortunately for all these drivers involved, the safety car will basically just neutralize everything besides the position change.
That was Nextchat diving off into the grass there on the back stretch. All right, Syntax. So, MAKU has sent a message and said, congrats, Graxent. So, I'm guessing he's not happy about that. You are our professional driver of the commentary trio. Give me your feedback here on how you think that went. Do you think someone was at fault? Do you think that was avoidable? Kind of how do you feel?
Actually, that professional driver is too much, but I'm grateful for that. Thank you. Yeah, but it is hard to say actually which fault was it actually, because on the turn we've seen like MAKU actually didn't want to try to back off, step off, however you call that, and we also know that Graxent was very aggressive, but I believe MAKU was implemented in the situation like this before in the previous season. We've seen a bunch of situations. For example, the situation with Mate on the Abu Dhabi ride, when he was saying like it was Mate's fault, but it was actually his fault. So I get used to actually a little bit when MAKU is saying like congrats to someone, but it's actually his fault. And if I would need to put like decision right now, I would say MAKU was pushing too much and Graxent was trying to avoid the contact, and he was even going on the grass. So it's hard to say. I would need to see the POVs from both of the drivers to just give you more information. But for now, it's like MAKU pushed too hard on Graxent, I would say. That's all.
I'd have to see a couple angles before I could say yes or no either way. We are working on replays here in the booth for Season 8. That's a little behind-the-scenes sneak peek for you. Tire decisions, guys. Someone in the Twitch chat asked for tires, and I didn't think anything of it because I saw some drivers in the pits. And as you can see, everyone's going on to dry compound tires, but it's still raining. Can anyone explain? We're watching Tazo literally slip and slide down the main straight. Can anyone give me insight as to what the drivers are thinking here? Okay, there's some contact there. That was Debe getting taken out by... Who was
MAKU.
that? MAKU? Oh my gosh. Okay, so... And Debe just having a bad time. Look at this. I hate to just sit here and spectate him, but spinning out in the grass now. Now his tires are completely borked early on. But look at this. I mean, he struggling for traction here. Maverick's onto soft tires. MAKU is reporting rear wing damage, just so everyone is aware. But, is it dry tire time? Am I
Of
like...
course. Actually, on my screen, it's raining, but the asphalt looks like it is able to drive on the dry compound. But do you remember the situation from last week when we have a very similar situation? There was a rain on the track and drivers decided to go for the dry compound. So maybe that rain isn't that heavy that necessarily need to drive on the intermediate compound. So I believe they know what they are doing. So the decision to change the tires for the dry compound isn't like out of nowhere. So of course we still have like five drivers on the grid right now with the intermediate compound. It's Baran, Kushor, Neksiak, Franek and Kashti, but even Franek and Kashti right now and Neksiak and Kushor and Baran decided to go to the pit lane for changing the tires. So yeah, I believe the situation on the track right now is getting better. So cross the fingers, guys. It will be hell of fun racing right now because we love races when the weather is changing, right? And now we have like the similar situation as in the previous season. I don't remember which race that was. I believe it was like 2 seasons ago on the Spain, right, Brad?
Yes, that was a crazy race. I feel like we have at least 2 to 3 races every season where the weather mixes things up, and you can see in the process of about 2 laps, the track has like dried significantly and the rain's completely gone. So I don't know what's going on, but apparently things dry out very fast here in F1 world. Let's talk about driver positions real quick because things are mixed up a lot, and I think safety car is going to be in this lap. Radislav Kepa is currently up 16 places. Mumamek is up 8 places. Big losers here. Kashti down 13. MAKU and Debe down 9. Graxent, after all the pit stop changes, is down 7 places. I mean, this is a big grid mix-up early on. Safety car is in this lap. Kenny, what do you think we are going to see here for the remaining 24 laps of this race?
Hopefully it's a not too crazy in terms of people getting plowed into and I don't want to see any more safety cars. Personally, I want to see some elbows out racing because I was praying for a dry track and we got it. So, yeah, I'm excited for the start, and hopefully everybody can kind of mind their P's and Q's.
All right, everybody starting to fight to warm those tires up. Safety car is in. That means Mateusz is gonna be in control of the grid as we go through. But look at John Meister and Radoslav Kepa. They are staying very, very close here. And this is gonna be a very, very fun little restart to watch as they come around here. Left-hander, penultimate corner. And now, as we watch again, not leaving room here, Radoslav Kepa to John Meister to Wasserschwein Bimler to Gacho. Everybody's staying very close, and now it is literally just a matter of when Mateusz wants to go, and you can see he is stacking the grid up hard. Now Mateusz is going to put the pedal to the metal. We are going to be back underway here. Green flag running, starting out on lap 6 here, and look at this, drivers going through. We've got a three-way battle here opening up early on. Look at this up the inside, and now as we come through, there's some contact in the background. That is going to be Buchik being taken out in the back there, and that takes out Puhash as well. They are going to drop way back, and there we go, rejoining. And now watch this battle here. That is Baran battling up on Kushor, and now Nekshak is in the mix as well, and that is going to be MAKU. This is the battle for P13 that is still going on, and you think it's the battle for the lead as we continue through. Yellow flags out behind. Nobody to worry about, though. Look at this side-by-side action all the way through, and now as we go through, Kushor is past Nekshak. Nekshak's in the mix. Little bit of lag there, and that is going to be Kushor straight into the wall. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is going to be our second safety car. And if it's not, I'll be very surprised. I'm still showing green flags out, though. And it looks like we're still going here. Wasserschwein is past Radoslav Kepa, up in for P3. Radoslav Kepa under pressure here from Tazo now. Tazo trying to make his way back up in the mix. I don't know how we don't have a safety car for that McLaren being out, but we don't. And now as we continue through, Radoslav Kepa up the inside here on Tazo. Tazo around the outside. Can he hold on to it? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to keep a hold of it. And there is Radoslav Kepa P4. Tazo P3. Look at this in the mix, though. Don't count out Graxent. Graxent's on a charge here. Mumamek goes a bit wide. Little bit of contact there, front wheel to rear wheel. And Graxent comes out in P6. Mateusz fastest lap so far of the Grand Prix. So the call for dry tires was the proper call here. We see Frantic and Jack battling it out here. And that is because Jack is into the pits. Marios is into the pits as they continue side by side through, and Graxent is now up into P5 here as he gets past Tazo. Tazo struggling a little bit here early on. Radoslav Kepa is now under pressure. Look at the speed Graxent's showing. That is a significant speed difference there. That's the medium tires versus the hard tires, and look at that as Graxent just sends it around inside to the outside. Graxent up into P4, and ladies and gentlemen, I think Graxent is on charge. Watch out, Radoslav Kepa. Radoslav Kepa running off the track there, and as we go through, it is going to be settling down to P7. I think he's going to be under pressure from Mumamek, though. Go to P8. Guys, there is action anywhere you want to look on this track right now. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we definitely see a lot of fights right now, and I'm glad that we don't have another safety car, but that push of Nekshak, it was a mess. Right now he's even doing exactly the same with the Buchek. So I believe Nekshak's strategy is to eliminate his opponents, as in, how is it called? Like when the cars are battling to themselves. So yeah, this, I believe Nekshak is doing this sports right now.
This four-way battle for P12 is going to be one to watch all the way through, because I think this group is going to kind of go for a while. We're starting to see things kind of open up a bit. Of course, no DRS yet. As we watch the drivers continue to battle, it's really just pick a position, and there's a battle going on for it right now. Things have settled down a little bit here on this back of the grid battle between Debe, Buchik, Baran, and Nekshak at the moment, with Nekshak dropping back just a bit here on these three. Of course, they're on the hard tires. I would imagine they are going to try to nurse these tires to the end of the Grand Prix. I can't say that's a bad idea, but oh, what was that? Buchik just straight into the wall there. It was just a complete left-hander in the turn, just straight into the wall. I don't even know if he tried to turn, to be honest. VSC has been deployed after that.
Yeah, it looks like he yeah, maybe either had maybe a wheel disconnect issue, or because it looked like he just lost the front end of the car, just washed away. So either that or something, I don't know. But yeah, it was a hard hit.
That would have been scary in real life. Thankfully, we're in a simulator, so things aren't too horrible. VSC, field is neutralized, has to slow down to 40% of their race pace. and they will be looking at the delta timings to try to hold on into place. You don't really gain or lose time under VSC, but you can if you don't manage your delta correctly. So as we watch here, drivers continue to come through. Is anyone going to pit? We have Maverick into the pits in the AlphaTauri. He was on the soft compound tires, and I would imagine that he is going to be pitting in for late. We see a lot of pit crews out on the grid, though. Next Shack picking up a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC, and I would say that Next Shack's race is effectively over at that point. With that sort of a penalty coming through, that's very, very, very hard to come back from. But safety cars can bring things back. Buchik into the pits, puts on a fresh wing, puts on a fresh set of hard tires. He is going to be back out on the grid. And we're already back underway. Kashti Tazo, you can see that's a bit of a battle starting to form here. Tazo, a tenth of a second back on Kashti. Side-by-side action as they go through. Here we go around the left-hander. Tazo gets past Kashti there. And that is Tazo up into P5. Kashti is going to keep applying pressure, though. He is going to continue to try to push through. We have a yellow flag out. I believe that is for Maverick spinning on turn 1. No harm, no foul that I can tell, though, so I think he's going to be back underway. Look at the side-by-side action here. Kashti up the inside of Tazo. A little bit of contact there, and it's going to put... Oh, it puts Kashti straight into the wall there. Kashti now backs out onto the track. Back underway, no safety car, no VSC, but Kashti into the wall, losing his front wing completely after a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, and it seems like that just seems to be the nature of today's race, is trying to put 2 cars in the place of 1. Where are we putting 2 cars in the place of 1? Not up front for P3 as Graxent gets past Wasserschwein. Graxent onto the podium places.
It's so good to see Graxent fighting back for the podium, and I'm so glad that he managed to somehow compromise his problems from the last season, and he managed to improve himself and pushing us always. So good to see you, buddy, back on the track. But yeah, that action between Tazo and Kashti, it was quite unpredictable, because we can call them like the main 2 rivalries, right, on the track. And I've seen these guys, trust me, I've seen these guys on the FRL racing, on the like offline, off-stream racing, and they were always so clean. So this situation for me is really something new, and I wasn't expect situation like this. And actually, I don't know what to say more about it, because it was pretty strange for me. But I believe there was a small mistake from one of these drivers. Hard to say which one made that mistake, but it's racing, right? So yeah, I believe Kashti somehow will manage to go back to top 10 and fight for the points, because right now Red Bull whoa, there's something happening. I believe Muminek just spin off in the... Oh, there was actually a front wing, so we have another safety car. And I'm really curious why we didn't have a safety car when Kushor was crashed on the wall, and he was actually standing in the sector 1 on the wrong side, and it was so dangerous, and we didn't have the safety car. But when Kashti hit the wall, it was only the yellow flag. And right now, when someone spun out, we have like the safety car on the track when actually nothing happened, right? So I love you, Codys.
Sounds like the FAA in real life. Or race control in real life, I should say.
Oh yeah.
Listen, Cody's is just trying to put some excitement into your Sunday evenings here with FRL. They know we need to mix things up. They know that Pujols wants to catch back up Bimlino Gacho. We want the grid bunched up. We want some tight racing. So they're just trying to give you what the people want. You know, sometimes that's what it takes. And what the people want right now is apparently the leaders in the pit. Mateusz in for a fresh set of mediums. John Meister in on a fresh set of mediums. Graxent is going to be coming in. Fresh set of mediums going on that wonderful, wonderful Scuderia Ferrari car. You can see Alpine into the pits there. That is Tazo. Tazo, pretty good run so far from him. Started out P5, currently sitting P6. Nothing too wild's happened there. All of the front half of the grid is pitting in, though. We're lap 12 of 29, and a lot of people in for fresh medium tires. Radoslav Kepa staying out, though, on those 9-lap old hards. So Radoslav Kepa committing to the bit. and going for a long run on those hard compound tires, which, hey, more power to you. They've seen a lot of slow laps, so they should last for a while. Talking about what has happened here so far, with Bimlino Gaucho and Pujols dropping to the back there. Kenny, Syntax, one of y'all want to give a recap on kind of some of the big action we've seen in the race so far?
I believe both those drivers were actually caught up in one of the many incidents we've seen actually here today. I didn't really catch Bimolino Gacho, but I believe Puchach was caught maybe with the Haas. I could be mistaken on that, but I'm not sure if Graxent, if you caught that as well. The crazy thing is there's been no shortage of action, and unfortunately there's been no shortage of incidents.
Yeah, I feel like at one point Graxent was last place, now Graxent's P5. Syntax, you can tell me, this is kind of the nature of FRL, isn't it? Sometimes drivers are at the back of the grid, and then 2 laps later they find themselves up front.
Exactly. So the best example for that is Radosław Kepa right now on the P3, right? Because he earned like 15 places, so amazing job from him. And I believe if he will hold his pace, and maybe we'll not see more safety cars, I hope so, finger crossed, we're going to see a very interesting three on the podium. Wasserstein, Radosław Kepa. Radosław was actually a champion from Split 2, right? But there was a so close battle with Wasserstein, I believe?
Oh, I have to dig in my memory banks. Let's double check myself
No,
here.
there was a Franek. There was a Franek, I believe. Because there was opportunity to become a Split 2 champion without winning a single race for Franek, I believe. If my memory is working properly.
Oh, let's look here, because I don't remember, so I'll pull it up and I will be able to report it here in just a little bit, because I don't remember how that went. I just remember it was absolute chaos. Franek and Radoslav, I believe, and then there was also a third driver in the mix that was going through as well. I can't... Oh, who was that? Oh gosh. All right, we'll have to find it. Someone can report it there for me in the stats, in the Twitch chat if you know. But I don't. What I can tell you is if you look at the fastest laps, Mateusz has the fastest lap so far, and he was over a second faster than Wasserstein on fastest laps, and then he's 2 seconds faster than Radosław Kepa on fastest laps. So I think Mateusz is finding himself in a very, very prevalent position to potentially win this Grand Prix here on lap 13 of 29. Radosław Kepa has gained 15 places. Baron's gained 13 places. Nekshek's gained 9. Big losers of the race, Kashti, Bimolino Gaucho, Pujols, and of course, Kushor, who is our only DNF in the McLaren. Some other notable things to talk about. Jack, down 5 places, running P12, running midfield, but of course, wet tires, dry tires, everything's been weird. Baron has made 3 stops. Everybody from P14 back has done 3 stops. So lots of mixed up strategies through as well after starting on intermediate tires, and we find ourselves on a sunny afternoon here in Albert Park, behind the safety car, lap 14 of 29. Again, if you do want to join FRL, do exclamation Discord in the chat. Jump in the Discord. There are always reserved seats open, and you might find yourself on the screen of the next FRL stream.
Yeah, definitely. And especially if you guys are looking for great racing, I will say join up in a heartbeat. But yeah, Radoslav Kappa and Baron, 2 big winners here today so far, so we'll see what happens if they can continue their quest for greatness. But disappointed for those guys at the bottom, though. It is unfortunate. And the thing is, though, that mid-pack, though, still from P14 down to like P8, I mean, that's going to be gnarly.
I have a feeling that this race is far from over. Syntax, I'll let you say it. What's your favorite saying?
FRL, how it was, like, predict unpredictable? Something like this.
Anything can happen. So,
Oh,
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, we're officially halfway through the race. Buckle up. I hope you have popcorn. I hope you have something to drink. And I hope you're ready for some action because this is going to move very, very quickly. Look at this. Mateusz right on the rear wing of Wasserschwein here, trying to push him through. He wants him to go. Look at him scrubbing these front tires, trying to get some tire temp in. That way he can hold on. But look behind him. There is a hungry Aston Martin of Radoslav Kepa. There's a hungry Mercedes of John Meister. And there's a hungry Scuderia Ferrari of Graxent. Graxent looking to cement his status early here in Season 8. Currently sitting P5. He was up into the top 3 podium places at one point. Can he fight his way forward and try to get a win here as the drivers come through? Everybody rounding out the penultimate corner. Wasserschwein goes off very early, though. Wasserschwein isn't waiting for anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on our way. Let's start lap 15 to 29 here in FRL Season 8. Halfway through the first race of an 11-race season. Wasserschwein's through clean. Mateusz is through clean. Radoslav Kepa's through clean. All of the drivers kind of surviving turn 1 for the most part here. That we can tell, and that is going to be everyone through turn 1. Side by side here, Wasserschwein on Mateusz. Wasserschwein to the outside. This is going to switch back to the inside. Just not enough grip to hold the position, though. So Wasserschwein was trying to look for it. Has to settle back here. Radoslav Kepa's under a lot of pressure from John Meister early on. John Meister using as much of the track as he can there. And here we go. Radoslav Kepa is trying to defend, and he's doing very, very well here early on, I must say. But look at this. He's also got Graxent behind him in the mix. Radoslav Kepa diving inside, going mega defensive here. Radoslav Kepa is going to be back in the back. John Meister through. Graxent pushing as well. Side-by-side action as they come through into the chicane here. Graxent purple middle sector, so he is absolutely sending it through. And here we go. Graxent's around. Now John Meister is going to be on the inside. This is going to be where he wants to be for the next corner. Inside of here as they push through, and now inside. Is it going to pay off for John Meister? Side by side, plenty of racing room given there, a little bit of wheel contact. And look behind him, that's Baran, that is Graxent's teammate, getting in the mix there. But Graxent is through for the P3, and now he sets his sights on Wasserschwein and Mateusz for the P1. If he can earn it halfway through this race, and as the laps will dwindle down, we'll see how Graxent goes. Graxent absolutely mega through. We've got a Red Bull spun in the final sector there. That is going to be Kashti. I think Kashti will be back, though. But guys, Graxent absolutely showing some pace today.
Oh yeah, definitely. And actually, until his absolutely outstanding move, I still have a goosebumps on my arms right now. And you even heard my reaction for that, and I was amazed of that. He's like the man of the... I cannot use that word, but you know what he have still, right? So yeah, we all know what is going on, and he absolutely proved it. And I like hats off Graxent. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Graxent taking the qualifiers by storm, and I think Graxent's taking the hearts of everyone by storm here in Season 8. Driver that's been around for the most races here in FRL. He's overdue for a championship, I would argue, and maybe today is going to be the day as we watch here. Tazo, though, I think is going to set out to kind of challenge him as well as we watch here, because Tazo is 7/10 of a second back off of John Meister. John Meister right on the rear wing of Graxent, and Wasserschwein defending like a lion as we come around. Final corner here, and now they're going to run down the main straight. Mateusz fastest lap of the Grand Prix again with a 120.8. So Mateusz showing some crazy pace here. But again, I still don't know if there is more to challenge as we continue through. Lap 17 to 29, MAKU and Radoslav Kepa battling it out there for P10. But look at this, Graxent now again on the run down turns 2. Up the outside this time, it turns to the inside. A little bit of room there given, and Wasserschwein has to back out of it there. Graxent now up into P2. After that, a little bit of a snap there from the rear end, holding on to it though. And now Graxent sets his sights early on moving forward. Wasserschwein now dropping back another place here as John Meister tries to push him through. Is he going to be able to defend that? And you can see Wasserschwein is the cork in the bottle for these faster drivers. Look at this, Tazo getting very, very feisty with John Meister. Up the inside, turns to the outside here. And is he going to be able to get the pass done before we hit the chicane? And is it done? It's still side by side as they come through. John Meister backs out of it there, and no, he doesn't. Just a little bit of a front wing in, and now Tazo P4. He has to defend it though. Look at Baran. This is going to be Graxent's teammate getting in the mix. DRS open there. DRS open for John Meister as well. John Meister up the inside, contact with Tazo. He spins. He collects the Ferrari as well. That is a 3-way crash there, and now as the drivers have to spin it around, get through, they lose out on dozens of places. Tazo getting lucky, staying up, but that is going to be Baran dropping way back through. And John Meister dropping way back as well. That was a battle that was going for laps. It was going to end in fireworks one way or the other. And guys,
yeah, that was a shootout and a half there.
Whew. Whew. All right, someone else take commentary for a second. I need to take a breath.
I truly believe in that because it was like kind of stressful situation, and I believe this corner, especially this corner on the track, beginning on the sector 3, is like the great spot trying to overtake. What's happened?
It spun out in the first sector and dropped back. Oh no, he's dropping more places. Graxent, no.
Oh, unlucky.
Ah.
Beauty of this sport, isn't it?
You know what? I think the common enemy to everybody around this track so far today has been off camber. Meaning if you're coming on a curb or if you're kind of, coming around a corner and you get that tire patch just off of the surface of the track, you're going for a spin.
And right now we also lost Muminek after the chicane. And yeah, because you were saying that there's a part of the very hard corners that you can spin. I wouldn't agree with that because on the Australian Grand Prix, actually every single corner, because of the curbs. Actually, if you want to get like a really, really good time of the lap, and you want to push, oh, believe me, brother, there's, oh my god, Myros just hit the wall of the pit lane. Like, this race just become a pure chaos, and I have no idea what is going on right now. But let's go back to what I was saying. You can spin on every single corner because of the curbs. Yes, this track is so fast, but if you want to be fast, trust me, you have to be prepared for the worst scenario. As you can see right now, every single driver might spin in every single corner. And I'm always saying that you have to be more patient sometimes. I understand that I wasn't actually doing what I'm saying right now, and I was also trying to push and maximize my limits, and this is fully understandable. But the punishment of that, it's huge disadvantage in the race. And as you actually see right now, Graxent somehow managed to came back for the 6th place, but still it's not a podium. Kenny, like, do you believe Graxent will be able to come back and fight like a real lion?
As long as he doesn't have any terminal damage, he'll be just fine. He'll have the race neutralized. He'll probably have about 8 or 9 laps to do it. But yeah, no, he could definitely challenge for a podium. Given the fact that you've got some fast cars up in front, but Frantic, MAKU, Debe, they've kind of been struggling off and on a little bit. Tazo has been kind of not to par as where we were kind of expecting him to be. He's got the pace, but no, I think the road to a podium is definitely there for Graxent. I just want to see everybody just kind of keep it a little bit tucked in, because it's like, I don't know if drivers are just loose or what, but it seems like they're not, given the fact that on the preseason barrages we saw really good battles that were a lot cleaner, and then the last race of last season and season 7, it was such a good ending. So I would just like to see him clean it up just a little bit, just because I think we've seen everybody be in some kind of contact issue so far, maybe with the exception of Mateusz, but yeah, even I can't be certain of that, because I think, again, everybody has been involved in something.
I'm going to quote Grissu real quick here, and he says, "Dear stewards, prepare yourself for a lot of work in the Twitch chat." And I have to say, he's probably not wrong. This is probably going to be a big mix-up in the results between what I show you on screen at the end of the day and what I tell you happened next week. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see here, and after our race recap, should be a lot of fun to watch here. There's been so much action, it's hard to really tell who's been where. Safety car is still out. I think we've got another lap after safety car or another lap under safety car syntax. So, what is gonna be the deciding factor? Do you think we have one more safety car in us today? Is this safety car 4 today?
Third or fourth, I will say. I didn't count, to be honest. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I believe the key of winning in this race or getting a better position is actually what strategy did you pick. And the best example right now is like the P1 and P2. Both of Alpines doing like amazing job. And do you remember what I said in the qualification about Tazo? Okay, he was like 6th or 7th, I don't remember correctly. Yeah, he was 6th because he earned 4 places right now. But even though Mateusz and Tazo looking so good right now and they are in the best place as they can, both of them on the medium compound, there's nothing that they can do wrong. Maybe some spins, but this is the only way that they can lose P1 and P2 right now, making a amazingly good start of the season 8 in the Australian Grand Prix. Right behind them we have Franek with absolutely amazing pace, and to be honest, I didn't watch him exactly where he was previously, but somehow he managed to hold his P3. Right behind we have MAKU. We've seen this driver today with a few questionable situations, but somehow he managed to be on the P4. Right behind him we have Debe on the P5. Graxent, Baran, Wasserstein, Kasti, Radosław Kepa. This is our top 10 right now, and each of these drivers can provide a really good overtakes, and I believe, because you mentioned that, this race it's not over yet.
I'll give you a fun fact. Tazo never qualified on the front row at all in Season 7, but still had 5 podiums and was the driver's champion of last season. So, if anyone can pull something out of the hat, it's going to be Tazo. Green flag is waving. It is up to Mateusz when he wants to get underway, and you can see Tazo right behind him here. I'm curious to see if there's any teamwork played between these two, if Mateusz might let Tazo by, or if it is every driver for themselves. But either way, we're going to be back underway here, starting out lap 22 of 29 for a 7-lap shootout to finish this Season 8 round 1 here in FRL. And as we go through, look at Debe in P5. He looks very, very feisty today, and he is getting through very well. Graxent up into P6 after that spin. He dropped to P12. Some drivers had some pit stops, which helped him out. That is Puhash, who has spun out of the end of the first corner, but it looks like he is going to be back underway. Next Shack side by side with Radosław Kepa. This is for the last of the points paying places, and as he comes through, Next Shack is able to secure that P10 last of the points paying places. That's going to be quite essential for him as we go through. Now, continue to watch these battles as they develop. MAKU 7/10 of a second back. Debe has the fast and feisty Ferrari of Graxent. 3/10 of a second back, 1/10 of a second back. Look at the overspeed difference. I wonder if this is a difference in setup or if it's just a pure push. Maybe Debe had a small error, but either way, here we go. Graxent's through. Graxent was purple middle sector that time too, so Graxent's improving more and more every time. Graxent around the inside here of Debe. Is there going to be plenty of racing room left? It's plenty clean. Graxent doesn't have the move done yet, and his teammate Baran is right behind and ready to make a move as well. This is for P5, and this is going to be quintessential if Graxent wants to try to push his way through and try to go forward. As we continue to watch here, Graxent settling back in though and continuing through. Puhash, broken rear wing, broken spirits, and a broken opportunity today. After early contact, Puhash down in P18. Very unfortunate for him. Marios, Bimolino Gaucho, Jack, Buchik, John Meister, Maverick, Radosław Kepa, Next Shack. That rounds out the reverse of the grid order. And then, of course, we have everyone else all the way through. We see a bit of moving there. That is Maverick, who has dropped way back after a big spin there in Sector 1. And now Bimolino Gaucho pressuring Marios. Jack and Buchik battling it out here in front. That is a battle for P13 at the moment. Let's jump back here. Kashti in P9, who is battling it out with Wasserstein. Wasserstein side by side here. Almost side by side with Baran. I thought at one point he was going to have the pass done, and then he didn't here as we continue to watch. We have another driver retiring out of the session, and that is going to be Maverick retiring first sector. And guys, I hope this will be the last safety car of this race.
There's no other opportunity because if safety car will come for the next 3 laps, it will be 26, so we will have like 3 laps of racing if my math is correct. So I hope you're right, Bradley, actually, because I wouldn't handle another safety car. Isn't that like the record of the safety cars on the track in one race? Is it 5th or the 4th?
I think the record is 6 safety cars in Singapore season.
Yeah, that might happen. Yeah,
because it rained at Singapore, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I crashed there. Guilty.
Yeah. If someone has the stat book out for FRL, you can correct me and let me know, but I'm pretty sure that is the record here as we continue to watch through. All right, Kenny, give me your late race predictions here. Graxent started P5, is sitting P5. His teammate Baran up 13 places into P7. Frantic is up 10 places, P3. Tazo's up in P2. Mateusz P1. MAKU is up 6 places. And then from there, Nextrack's up 9 places. Cashty's down 8 places. John Meister, Bimolino, Gaucho both down 12 places. We've lost 4 drivers. Give me your late race predictions here. Who's been impressing you? Who is going to upset something? And who is going to just be the unfortunate loser of this race?
Well, I think the unfortunate loser so far, for me at least, has been Graxent up until this point, but he is still the maker of his own destiny. Really, personally, Graxent could pull out a win. I'm going to make a bold prediction he could pull out a win. Personally, though, I think it's probably going to be those top 2 currently, Mateusz and Tazo. It's going to probably stay the same. But if Graxent can get around Frantic and MAKU early, who knows what can happen. But a bad day from unfortunately with Puhash with his broken wing, and then Kushor with that big hit early on. I didn't catch what happened to Maverick, but Kushor early on with the non-safety car, unlucky there. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We're probably gonna get one more lap of safety car.
Yeah, I would say at least one more lap of safety car here. I'm looking at pit stops, and some of the drivers in the back have done 4 pit stops, which I think is interesting. Everyone has done at least 2 stops, though. Jack has done 7 pit stops. I don't know if you all noticed that, but Jack has done 7 pit stops and is still up in P12 somehow. I'm curious to know why he's done so many, if it's front wing changes or what it might be, but that is crazy to look at. And then looking at penalties, Mario 6 seconds, John Meister, Buchik, and Cashty all have 3-second penalties. I don't know, like, the race has really rode itself. Cashty fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, but Mateusz not that far off of that fastest lap, so still plenty to play for here. And I mean, I just really wonder what the next little mix-up of this race is going to be. There's something else is going to mix this race up, and I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, everybody's on, the medium runners. They're on 13-lap-old mediums. The hard runners aren't on fresh hard tires either, but they'll be just fine. But let's hope somebody does not go bowling.
I like that. I like the way you phrase that, because that would be interesting to say the least. As
with
we go
his
through,
7th, go ahead.
I was going to say, safety car is in this lap, so I guess we're going to find out who can roll a strike and who can gutter ball it.
I was going to say with his 7 stops, though, Jack's probably for the position he's in, has still a ton to gain here, because he could pick up a point or 2 if he can keep it clean. But like you said earlier, he probably has been keeping the wing factory busy.
I think Mercedes are going to have a cost cap to worry about with the way he's kept them busy. But who knows? Maybe they'll try to bill Red Bull for it and write it off as catering. I guess there's only one way to find out. as we go back underway here, racing lot 26 of 29, 3 laps to go here. Look at the gap Mateusz has here on Tazo with Frantic, and then MAKU, Graxent up in the mix. Debe not letting Graxent get a lot of room here, and Baran not letting Debe get a lot of room here. As we see Debe a little bit of overspeed here, but not close enough to capitalize. Kashti and Nextshak battling here. The Red Bull on the outside, Nextshak on the inside, and the Williams, and that is going to be the pass through. This battle between Debe and Graxent is going to get very, very spicy as we continue through. Jack's now up into P11, battling out here. Side-by-side action in the back half of the grid, and they are battling for the last of the points-paying places. You would think they're battling for a podium here. Radislav Kepa losing out big time there. Going down into P16, Jack is in P11 at the moment. You can see he's putting a lot of pressure on Nextshak as we go through here. The battle between Graxent and Debe is spaced out, but this battle is just heating up. Look at that big spin there. That is going to be, I believe, Bimmelino Gout. Who was that spun there? That was Kashti. Kashti now dropping back to the back. Very unfortunate for him. Look at this battle, though, between Buchik and Jack as they come through side by side as they go around, and that is going to be Jack up into P9 now, Buchik in P10 at the moment. John Meister P11 trying to chase down Buchik, and he might be able to have an advantage here of a pass. He's not close enough to make anything happen at this moment, though. Lap 27 to 29 getting ready to start, and the passes are going to be coming at you hot and heavy. Now, as we go through Graxent, penultimate corner, only 0.2 of a second back here on Frantic. He is going to have a bit of overspeed here. Of course, no DRS. It looks like we have a Red Bull who is spun in the third sector. I believe that's Kashti, but it looks like he's back underway with no issues from what I can tell, so no safety cars deployed. Nextshak's into the pit, so their races are completely gone, as I don't think we'll have another safety car in this race. And of course, as I say that, I might commentate or curse it, but only one way to find out here. Look at this Buchik getting bullied between Wasserschwein and John Meister there as they go through. John Meister up ahead and Jack in front there now, side by side again. And look at this. That is going to be more pushing as Kashti retires out of the session, so that is his race over in the pit lane. Look at this, though. Buchik continue to put some Wasserschwein. This is going to be this big battle here. Side by side, a little bit of pushing there. Nothing too desperate, but now it looks like this is going to be the battle through. 3 wide as they come around, and it is going to be on the inside. Buchik on the outside, Wasserschwein. But as they go side by side, it looks like the wing in the mix there from Buchik, but not enough. Wasserschwein slots into place. Meanwhile, while this battle is going on, Graxent is up into P4 now. So Graxent has found himself pushing for the podium places. Half a second back. He's got 2 laps to make something happen here as we go through. And guys, this battle back at the back for the last of the points paying places is absolutely crazy. Bimmelino Gaucho dropping back here from the mix as Marios is through. See a little bit of lag coming through for those drivers, but nothing too desperate. And guys, this battle for P10 is wild as DRS is enabled, and I think that's going to put Tazo, Frantic, Debe, Baran, and Graxent all under a lot of pressure here as Graxent is up into P3, but it's 1.4 seconds back on MAKU. MAKU nursing that rear wing damage, though, which is impressive to see him up here in P2. He's going to hope this battle and keeps everyone behind him. But guys, I think we might start to see the pressure mount at the front of the grid and for the last of the points paying places.
Yeah, I just want to say, go ahead.
No, please, Kenny.
I was going to say, Jack is putting on a clinic right now. Jack, I think he started at P11 or P12 at the restart. He's up at the P8 right now, about ready to get scoop up Baran for P7.
Jack is straight into the wall as soon as we say something. Oh my gosh, Jack runs wide there in the second sector and then just snaps straight into the wall. DNF's out. Of course, too late for a safety car, so no safety car. Kenny, thank you for picking up the commentator curse tab for this session. I will send an invoice to your email later. Now, John Meister, Baran battling it out. John Meister spins as well. Both Mercedes are going to be out of this race in less than half a lap. John Meister spinning out. Now he's coming back onto the track here. Nudges the outside wall there. Loses his front wing. John Meister, I believe, will be finishing last in this race, if not P13. So both Mercedes are going to have a major debrief in that budget cap is just a little bit tighter now for this season. Graxent coming through P3, 1.1 seconds up on, or 1.1 seconds behind MAKU, 0.6 of a second up on Tazo, doing his best to defend here. We've started the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be where it's all to write home for. Look at this battle here. Buchik, Wasserschwein. This is the battle for P8 now as it heats up, and Marios in the mix as well. We're losing drivers left and right here as we go through. Marios, Wasserschwein side by side. Buchik trying to hold on here. And now as we go through, Marios ghosting out there, and Wasserschwein up into P9, Marios into P10. Bimalito Gaucho is going to be up for the battle as well. Mateusz, though, look at this, 5 seconds up after the restart. So Mateusz is going to be running it home, and as we look here, Mateusz did have the fastest lap. Currently, the fastest lap sits at Nextshaq, but for what has been a very, very good race for him, he's had a lot to be proud of and a lot to be happy with this weekend. He has gained a place, started P2, is going to finish it out P1. Look at the gaps as they go through. It's been a clinic of a weekend. This is the way you want to start your Season 8. This is the way you want to start your season in FRL. This is the way you want to start a season in any race, honestly. But as we come around, Mateusz comes through. Final corner here. He's going to bring it home. He sees the checkered flag to start us out on Season 8. Mateusz is going to be our winner here in Melbourne. And now as we come through, MAKU P2, Graxent P3, celebratory podium there, Tazo P4, Frantic up 5 places P5, Baran is going to finish out P6 up 14, Debe, Bimalino Gaucho up to P8 after penalties, Wasserschwein, Buchik, Radislav Kepa, Marios, and ultimately Nextshaq is going to be P13 if he can make it to the line. All right, guys. That concludes round 1 of Season 8, and what a round it was.
Driver of the day for me is definitely Graxent.
Absolutely impressive running all the way through. Baran making up 14 places by the time it was all said and done. That is a storybook ending that you need to keep in your back of your head. Mateusz, though, bringing it home for the win.
Yeah, but we didn't mention how Tazo make a really, really good job for Mateusz when he was holding other drivers on the second place on the last safety car. So yeah, we need to also give a big applause for Tazo. He sacrificed himself just to give Mateusz a win in this race. So I would say both of Alpines make a really, really good job. And of course, I can fully agree what you said with Graxent. Amazing performance for him, even if he have such a big moments. From the last in one moment, coming back for the P3 and standing on the podium, big congrats, man.
Of course, Mateusz was our P3 finisher in Split 1 last season. So we know he has pace, we know he has skill. Very exciting to see him on the podium so early on. I knew it was going to be someone we didn't predict. I knew it was going to be a bit of a mix-up there. So very, very happy to see the race ending the way it does. Of course, looking at incidents as they go through. Quite a bit of collisions, quite a bit of track limits. But overall, fairly exciting racing. I don't think there was anything too blatant throughout the race that I'm remembering. Maybe y'all can correct me if I'm wrong with that.
No, fully
All
agree.
right. Yeah, I would agree.
I'm
Alright.
trying to give information for a few drivers just to come for the interviews, of course, but you need to give me a second.
Absolutely. Okay, technical difficulty sorted. We're through. Syntax, pick our first driver, bring them up. Let's see how they talk.
Okay, let's go back from the fourth place. Let's go with the Tazo. Hello, Tazo.
Tazo.
Hi, welcome everyone.
Welcome, Tazo. It was such a pleasure to see how Alpine was doing such a great job in this race. But mostly, I focus on one situation when you were like securing the podium for Mateusz under the last safety car, because you were doing a really good job while you were doing a huge gap between you and him, and that's basically let Mateusz win, right?
Yeah, that gap was not intentional, but yeah, I was struggling a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Last few laps was pretty intensive. I damaged my front wing, so that's because I don't have podium right now. But yeah, it's good position.
Yeah, definitely. And I need to ask about your strategy, because we also mentioned that in the qualification. Qualification isn't your your best side, right? Like you were always somewhere around P5, P6, and as Bradley checked, you were never in the first row. So, but you have like something that I call it like champion. How I called it, Bradley? Can you remind me? Champion.
What did you say?
As you can see, my co-workers work with me very good. They don't listen to me.
Yeah,
Like way of thinking as a champion. Oh, yeah.
qualification is not my strong point, but I have some pole positions.
Yeah,
as I remember.
we don't say that you don't have any, but like it isn't your like.
Yeah,
most...
it's not my strong point, but
Yeah.
maybe on the wheel it will be my strong point, because race pace is now very tough for me. Yeah, but before, good position.
And how do you feel after your first race behind the wheel? Because I also mentioned that you actually changed from the controller to wheel, right?
Yeah. It was pretty good, I think. A lot of strugglings, a lot of saves, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay, so give me your informations about upcoming race. What will be the strategy and what placing do you aim with Mateusz as an Alpine team?
I think Zandvoort, it will be tough race. It's tough track to overtake, but points is a good position. Maybe P5, P6, something about that.
Always humble, man. I will see like, oh yeah, it will be P5, P6, then Tazo will stand on the podium as always. Okay, I guess that's all from me. Maybe other commentators have any questions?
I think Syntax summed it all up for me. Just congrats, Tazo. Good race as always.
Yeah, Tazo, good luck, buddy, and get used to that wheel.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Tazo. And we're coming for the next driver. That was actually a big man. Maybe do you recognize a red car, red fast car? You know, wink, wink.
Again, technical difficulties. Welcome to season 8, everyone. There's been a lot of work under the hood, but guess who's here? Graxent!
Hello, hello.
Big congrats, man. That was a really good job from you, especially when you dropped to P20 after a big smash on the T1. Oh man, you've done a really good job. And there was a one situation when you actually give me a goosebump when you were like 3 in a row. Oh my god, Graxent, that was absolutely beautiful move.
Yeah, this my heart was racing so fast, and this 3 overtake was even more faster.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm out of breath also a little bit.
How do you feel? Because previous season wasn't that good from your perspective. Of course, you had some mistakes, some DNFs, and I believe you like came back as you were on the beginning of the FRL when we were racing together. And it's so good to see you, buddy, once again on the podium, because long time no see, I could say.
Yeah, the last time was Monaco season 6, so it's a couple of seasons down. Still,
Yeah.
race win is longer down. So I'm aiming for still a race win this season, and this is a good start. I'm really happy with P3 after P20 in Lab 2. So
Yeah, definitely. And what position would you be aiming in season 8? Like, do you want to fight for the championship, or you don't feel so confident? Maybe some top 3. What is your aim? What is your goal in this
I feel
season?
confident this season, but this season is only split 1, so there are very, very fast drivers this season. It's gonna be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Like in quali, I was 3/10 of pace, so yeah, that's something I need to work on still. And in the race, I'm feeling confident, so I hope I can aiming for the fighting championship.
Yeah, you definitely showed that us in today's race, because that fight today, it was outrageous, really. And
Yeah.
You did really good job, especially when you have quite few situations actually when someone pushed you, or you spun,
Yeah.
because it was like, I believe it was in the 20th lap when you were on the P3 or P2 and you
Ah,
spun.
that's my
Yeah.
own fault. That's my own fault. I don't know what happened actually there, but I spin. Yeah, I don't know what happened there actually. But
Hmm.
and also in lap one, I got a little bit pushed off track by John Meister, and when I come off the grass on the track, I had this big snap of oversteer.
Yeah. Even though,
Stupid mistake.
congrats Graxent, a really
Thank
good
you, man.
job
Thank you.
and really good race. Bradley, Kenny.
No, it was a really good race as well. I was kind of rooting for you the whole time, especially towards the end there when you made that little bit of a mistake. But great recovery, or halfway recovery drive, I should say, and good finish.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm always a bit biased for Graxent because, of course, Graxent has been my teammate in several events that we've ran together here in FRL. So I can't say that I'm not happy because I'm extremely happy. So congrats, Graxent. I'm glad to see you back. I know there was a little bit of a conversation about you maybe not racing. I'm glad you're up and
Yes.
better and you're here. And I look forward to a good, long, successful season from you.
Thank you, man. I'm very happy. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Thank you so much, Grax. And right now we're going for the next driver. It will be MAKU. First of all, big congrats, MAKU, because you done a really good job. But actually, I have a few questions.
Okay.
I wouldn't be me, because first of all, how do you manage to drive and ride on the main channel? Because it was like the main thing. How he's doing that?
But wait, what? Driving what?
When you were driving and also writing in the F1 General in the Discord.
I had 2 monitors, and I
Yeah,
can
but you
fast
need to focus on the
ride.
race.
But it was safety car.
Yeah, I understand, but still avoid any dangerous situation. Just if you
Uh,
need to do that on the phone. It will be so much easier. But even though, do not drive children's on when you are driving a car, just to avoid anything. But yeah, MAKU, of course, a really good job from you. But we've seen a few situations, really dangerous situation, when you were actually pushing a little bit too much. For example, a situation with Graxent when both of you were on the P12 and P20 on the beginning of the race. And there was also one more situation. I don't remember who that was. But yeah, do you think that you are pushing too much sometimes, or it wouldn't be better just to step back for a moment?
we were just talking with Graxent and watch the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little my fault, but not big. On braking, we were next to each other, but after I was a little bit behind him.
Okay. So
Next situation, Snackshak killed Jack, and I just used this situation to overtake. It was my bad.
on the track, of course, in the GTA
Yes.
5, because it's the Twitch, so we are not using words like this.
What
And
did
yeah,
I say?
never mind. Okay, MAKU, I want to also ask a question for the upcoming race in Zandvoort. What is your goal to achieve in the next race? I mean, like, what position would you like to set on after the qualifications? Because, of course, it's a really hard track.
I think I like Netherlands, and I think maybe podium.
Okay.
It would be good for me.
Okay. What do you think about the other drivers? Because you are like kind of fresh-ish, we could say, in the split one, because you were previously mostly driving the split two, right?
Yes. I
What do
think
you think
it's
about their pace and because we have fast drivers in split one, so Gregson already told us that this season might be a difficult one.
yes, drivers are very good. I think I can do something because my latest race in Split 1 was Brazil P2
Mhm.
again. That was second in row for me.
Yeah.
Uh, think race was good, but 50% of the race was safety car, and it was really boring.
Yeah, we can agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, MAKU.
Thank you.
Maybe other commentators will have questions.
No, I think Syntax hit everything on the head, so it's going to be a fun season, Maku. Congrats on a great round one. Stewards are going to be a little bit busy today. I'm sure you agree with me on that, but it's
Maybe
kind
not.
of the nature of it. So look forward to seeing how you perform in the Netherlands.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Cheers.
Okay, and how is it called? Last but not least, if not correct me, we're waiting for our winner of today's race. It will be Mateusz. Hello, Mateusz.
Hello.
Amazing race, amazing pace. Alpine done really good job today, but you outclassified the rest because when you were reaching the finish line, you have like the 5 second gap between you and the MAKU. So tell us the secret. What was that gave you that I would say space, pace, and outrageous moves in today's race?
Always extra grip, Teraflu
Okay, so cheating.
before a
Yeah, no
race.
worries. FIA, you
Yeah.
heard that? Okay. You need to investigate that.
Debe, please don't ban me, please.
Yeah, but what was the main strategy for today's race? How
Yeah.
was the driving?
I feel very nice on this track, and I really did. I really didn't practice today. Only 20 minutes time trial with Tazo, but but it's one of best, I think, tracks in this game, and I feel really great with it, with this win. I don't know what can I say about rest of calendar, because there is one what I really like, but
It's difficult.
yeah, but there is a Spa or Portimao too. I don't really like these tracks,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's really good to win today and have good points in front of Casti, of course.
Yeah. It was. I've seen that battle was really tight, but somehow you managed to overtake him, and it was really a nice battle. Then
Yeah.
Kasti was fighting with Tazo.
Yeah, I think we won this race in because of strategy, and because we pit on first safety car.
Mhm.
Kasti did it after 2 laps, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and only I said to Tazo, he's really trolling, and it was true. I think Kasti was. I think we can fight together.
Yeah, you
But
look as a very strong team in this season.
yeah, Tazo did a great job today, but this last safety car was not good, I think.
Yeah, I believe. And last question, for Zandvoort, because we already mentioned that next race will be on the Zandvoort. What are your predictions? Where both of Alpines would like to put themselves after the
Podium.
qualification, let's say podium?
I think podium, yeah.
Pretty confident. I will take that. Okay, Bradley, Kenny, do we have anything else for Mateusz, or that's all for today?
I think that's all for today. I think he summed everything up very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mateusz, and we can go to make an end of this race as you're always making, Bradley. Thank you so much, Mateusz.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So this is going to conclude our round one. Any final thoughts, Syntax Kenny, about how things went, how the race went? Any last second crazy predictions we want to put? Or are you just excited as me for this season?
I'm just excited. I'm just as excited. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a good season.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more with Kenny. But after this race, I feel like I'm getting more hungrier for the next upcoming races, and definitely Zandvoort will be something that could possibly unexpected, I will say, because I really know this track and I know it has some magic, I will say, but I believe there might be happen something that none of us will expect, and I hope I wouldn't make a commentator curse, but we will see.
I think the excitement is going to mount. Of course, next week will be the debut for Kenny running solo on week 2. Me and Syntax both have a couple of real life arrangements, so Kenny will be bringing you Netherlands solo. Not to put any pressure on him here early on, but hey, it's what we do. And then beyond that, the 7th of May, we go to Silverstone for the 100th race of FRL. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, tune in and check out all of the socials, exclamation Discord, exclamation YouTube, exclamation Moza if you want to support the league and support the stream. Come jump in the Discord. You can always sign up and be a FRL supporter. As always, on behalf of Kenny and Syntax, my name is Brad, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in 7 days' time.
Bye.
Cheers, everybody. Have a good night.
And it looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers.